From childhood to adulthood, parents and teachers have taught us that we must definitely study a profession well, master a technique, then we will not be afraid of hunger wherever we go. This point of view may sound reasonable at first, but in fact, it is the thinking of poor people. In the past, if you study a profession well, it was indeed very valuable. You will not be afraid of starvation wherever you go. But in the era of information explosion and overproduction like today, if you do not master a high-level technique that can change the world, then studying a profession well cannot help your life make a leap, let alone achieve financial freedom. I know your life is very busy, but what I say is not easy to absorb, especially difficult to master. If you only listen to it once, my advice is to watch it to the end. Listen to it over and over again when you are free or doing housework. Please share and save the playlist for your convenience. I am sure that within a few short months, your thinking will develop to a new level. Stoic ancient dear ladies and gentlemen, this world does not need many people. So rich if everyone had 5 billion, then no one would clean the toilets, no one would collect the trash. So to maintain the good operation of this society, it is necessary to ensure that the majority of people will never achieve their financial goals. You will always have no money, so you will always have to work. Your poverty is predetermined. Why do I say this? A 22-year-old kid graduates from college, 60 years old, retires. His working time is only 38 short years. In these 38 years, there are only 14,000 working days minus weekends, holidays, love time, sick leave, maternity leave, personal entertainment. The time a person uses to create assets is only 10,000 days. In these 10,000 days, if that person is the lowest class of society earning 100,000 in a day, then the lifetime asset limit is 1 billion. If that person is a small office worker, every day earn 200,000, then the lifetime asset limit is 2 billion. This 2 billion is not the net asset, but includes the daily living expenses if this person spends according to consumerism, then in the end they will be left with nothing. If this person saves little by little, then after many years of hard work, they will only have enough to pay the deposit to buy a house in the city they live in. All of these things have been designed for you, and it is very difficult for you to escape this cage. So how to break? To do this, need to change your ecological environment. Your ecological environment, if it is wrong, even if you clean the toilet water to the point of drinking, you still cannot make money from it. So what is the correct ecological environment? In ancient times, it was called the scholar, farmer, worker, merchant, are the people who have the position of responsibility for distributing agriculture. Are farmers. Farmers work so hard. Why are they ranked in such a high position? Because in the 5,000 years of Chinese civilization history, there are 4,950 years as agricultural culture. Land and food are the most important means of production. Farmers work hard, but they only receive consolation rewards, and their position is not really as high as people think. So what is the ecological position after farmers? Workers in ancient times are craftsmen, blacksmiths, fishermen, cloth cutters. They are called miracles, non-kyo, that is, people who work with small skills go through many years of oppression. Fishermen are not allowed to go ashore, and blacksmiths work very hard, but the person who suffers more than workers, who is the merchant? When mentioning merchants, people immediately think of fraud merchants. No fraud, no trade, no trade, no. Gone. In ancient times, merchants are often seen as greedy and deceitful people. although the fact that merchants live very well and are rich, so why in the system of scholars, farmers, workers, merchants are ranked last? It is because the purpose of the ruling class from childhood they study literature and martial arts, growing up sell themselves to the king, whether they are workers or farmers, they are all controlled by the ruling class. Only merchants is uncontrollable. Merchants buy goods from the state and sell to the state of Qi. Goods from the state are sold to the state of Chu or the state of Wei and the state of Qin. Merchants are not under the control of the state. What is the logic of making money for a merchant? It is the structure of transactions, frequency of transactions, efficiency and scale of transactions. This is the ecological position of ancient times, and today this ecological position continues today. The lowest ecological position in society is manual labor. We call them people who sell their labor. They earn money by their sweat and labor. Their representatives are farmers, brothers, workers, drivers, delivery people. All workers who earn a living by labor belong to ecological position 1.0 called manual labor. They earn money by selling their time and labor, but in there is a big trap. Time is limited and labor will decline as they get older. They are no longer able to work and can only do hand protection. Stop working, mouth stop eating, income zero. A serious illness can take them back to the time before liberation. A financial code designed for them is diligence leads to wealth, but diligence only leads to sufficiency, cannot make rich. Manual workers first awaken in their life is when they send their children to school. My child, don't be like us, don't have a stable job, have to fight everywhere, study hard. So even though the family only has one man, earns about 8 to 9 million per month, but the family dares to let the wife stay home full-time. Hundreds of children study. If that child studies well and passes the university entrance exam, suppose passing into a very good university, later work in a state agency or become a doctor, lawyer, accountant, teacher, and have a professional skill. But can these people become rich or not? Can they simply go from hard labor to lighter labor? They just go from people holding shovels to people holding scalpels. They don't have means of production. Simply from unstable income turns into a little more stable income, from earning money by labor to earning money by skills. We call these people art sellers. Their income can be 20 or 30 or 2 to 40 million per month. In reality, these people are still very poor in big cities, although their skills will become more proficient over time, but their time is still limited. For example, your child learns massage skills very well, even though he can earn 100,000 and an hour working 10 hours a day. He can only earn 1 million a month, only 30 million. This amount does not include the cost of food, clothing, living expenses, rent, space. Moreover, not every day can work continuously like that. If I suddenly give him 10,000 customers and 1 billion, he can earn this amount of money. No, it cannot tell customers that every day I can only work for 10 people a year, can only do 3,650 people. Invite you to wait until 3 years later at 2 p.m. for your turn. There is a big problem here. Time is limited, labor is limited, cannot be doubled or multiplied. So these first two ecological positions have been designed so that you will never have money in your entire life. So what to do? You have to complete a breakthrough to get out of the distribution trap. I cannot sell max a service to 10,000 people at a time, but I can sell 10,000 bottles of mineral water at a time, even though I only earn 2,000 per bottle. But if I sell 10,000 bottles, I can earn 20 million if I meet a customer at the right time and convince them. Maybe in just 10 minutes I have sold 10,000 bottles of water. So we need to become a salesperson. Sales also have many levels. Old style sales is you meet one person to sell. Direct marketing, then only sell one order. Low transaction efficiency, but if one people meet a group of people to sell, that is called mixed sales. If a seller in a live broadcast room with 100,000 followers, then that is a famous online seller on the internet. Transaction frequency, transaction size, transaction structure, and the transaction context has all changed. Only when there is significant growth and expansion in these things can they earn a large amount of money. That is the third level of sales. The highest level is selling household registration books, just holding a household registration book. In big cities can do many things. For example, in Beijing, only need a household registration book to open a gas station. So why do many people want to take the civil service exam? They hope to participate in the distribution system, but here is a big trap. Not just passing the civil service exam, you can participate in the distribution system. The distribution system has three roles. One is the official, two is the enforcement force, and three is the errand boy who does odd jobs. If you do not have the support above, even if you take the exam pass, also only earn a few million per month plus pension. Your life will be like that for life. No one can do anything to you, but you can not advance. That is the personal ecological position. The city also has its ecological position. The remote mountainous provinces or near the city with a large amount of agricultural land, the number of dense industrial zones will also have a different rate of university candidates than the central cities where many banks are concentrated. Office finance work, and then millions of candidates will eventually return to their homeland where they focus on doing right by the ecosystem of home love. When you come to Western countries, have you ever had this feeling not to live freely? Do not have to work overtime, get off work at more than 4 p.m. in the evening. Go shopping. Also do not see anyone trading anything plastic. Our country people there do not care about damage. Vin does not compare. Belgium values family very much. Always spend time with family. After seeing you feel really jealous. Why do people in our country have to work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week, and also work Sundays night shift evening to morning? We seem to be kings caught up into the work vortex. Why is it like that? Is the national ecosystem the country wants to develop the most important thing is the 4 types of food resources: oil, natural gas, iron. If you look at the rich countries in the world, Arabs have a population of 33 million people each year. Export oil reach $300 billion. People do not have to do anything, just lie down and be fully provided. Just plug the pipe into the ground and the oil just flows out. That is the real income from natural resources. Norway, a small country with a small population but ranks 3rd in gas and oil exports. Australia with a large area but sparse population, 26 million people, is the world's largest iron exporting country. And if you look at East Asian countries like Japan, population 127 million people, 63 ph food must be imported, 96 pH gas must be imported, 99 pH oil must be imported, and iron must also be imported. 100 pH South Korea with a population of more than 50 million people, self-sufficient in food, only 10 pH. More than 80 pH must import oil, gas, and iron. Most of them have to import. China with 18 billion acres of agricultural land to be self-sufficient in food, but oil, gas, and iron all have to import America with the power of the dollar at the top of the supply chain can print money and collect global wealth so East Asian countries in the global ecosystem. Do you know how they are positioned? China is positioned as a country of manual labor with industries polluting, crowded labor, low value added. Are the original factories located in the four Asian dragons then moved to China like in Dongguan Suzhou, and then America moves to India, Vietnam? Please answer me. Is it true our positioning is to do manual labor? These people are prostitutes. What about Switzerland and Germany? They are prostitutes, and America is a country distributing resources to this day. I tell you, America's power is far beyond your imagination. You need to stand on a global perspective to see that each country, each city, each individual has its own ecological position. So I always say, don't be a stonemason, and don't despise the workers at the bottom. In fact, manual workers and those at the bottom of society are like the relationship between the Mekong Delta to Vietnam and Vietnam to the world. It is a seamless connection. When you understand this, you will see that in reality in this world everyone is a salesperson. You convey your educational views to your children is called raising children. You bond yourself with your other half is called marriage. You sell a product is called selling. You sell a project is called raising capital. You sell a company is called issuing shares. You apply for a job is called applying successfully. If you have a network of relationships, you are a salesperson. If you lead a group of people, you are a sales manager. If you consolidate a project and lead a large group, you are a boss. In fact, everyone is selling, and the most important skill that every person must learn is the skill of selling. Farmers say we earn money by sweat and tears. We are not salespeople. Sorry, you are selling your sweat and effort. I do finance. You are selling your skills. So I tell you, a person who comes to this world must learn a skill that is the ability to sell. Knowing how to sell yourself will help you have a good image. Knowing how to sell will help you have money. All the things you can't buy or don't have money to buy is because you don't know how to sell. You sell little or don't sell enough. To this day, selling and starting a business is still the only way for ordinary people to change their fate, even if you screw a screw until the screw is smoking. You still can't make money. Running a delivery tired to the point of breaking your legs, still can't make money. Taxi drivers think so much that they leave pots and pans to eat and sleep in the car tired, then sleep, wake up and drive, still can't make money. All of those things have been designed and distributed in advance because this system is set up to keep you at the level. Income of 10 to 20 million is not starving to death, but not enough to be full. You still have to continue to work tirelessly from childhood to adulthood. Parents and teachers all teach us that we must definitely study a profession. Well, master a technique, then we will not be afraid of hunger wherever we go. This point of view sounds reasonable at first, but in fact it is the thinking of poor people. In the past, if you study a profession well, it was really valuable. You will not be afraid of starving wherever you go. But in the era of information explosion and overproduction like today, if you do not master a high-level technique that can change the world, then studying a profession well cannot help your life make a leap, let alone achieve financial freedom. If you pay attention, you will see that in the minds of most people today, there is a very outdated and stubborn idea that studying a technique means earning money, so they study hard, take the competitive university entrance exam, all just to get into a good university, learn a profession, find a stable job. But in reality, fufang is a technique that ordinary people learn to face extremely fierce competition. Really tragic. You will be put in the middle of the crowd to see who has the best Technique who asks for the lowest salary, then that person will be kept, so you rely on your exquisite technique and constantly lower your limits to meet the needs of others, overcome countless difficulties. Finally, you also get a small salary, but over time your age increases, your skills gradually decrease. Once someone replaces you with a cheaper and more suitable price, then you can only reluctantly leave. At this time, some people will say that those who are eliminated are just because their technique is not good enough. If I master extremely top-notch technique, then the boss will never fire me. I'm sorry, you don't know that top-notch technique is just a fake proposition, a ridiculous game, because in this era of abundant talent, even no matter how good your technique is, no matter how high level it is, there will always be someone better than you. They can always replace you. For example, if you work as a screwdriver in an electronics factory, no matter how good your screwdriver skill is, there will definitely be someone who screws faster than you. Even if your screwdriver skill has reached 100 points and no one can surpass you in their entire life, can you work forever in someone else's company? This is also impossible, because your screwdriver job is just a part of the product formation process, and the product is just a part of marketing. If the product produced by the factory cannot be sold and does not have a good profit, why would people hire you with your high-level technique? You cannot bring more profit to the boss. In his eyes, you are not even as good as a guy who can sing karaoke and M with him, so what do they rely on to support you? Therefore, high-level technique is basically just a false proposition. You are just a salaried worker. No qualifications, nor need to be so concerned with the so-called pinnacle of technology. Obsession with technology will make your brain more and more stagnant. Your ability to think independently will become worse and worse. People who are obsessed with technology often have the illusion that any difficulty or obstacle in life is due to their technology not being good enough. This is essentially a sick psychological state. People who are obsessed with technology often only know how to cling to the technology they have learned, not wanting to stand higher and look further. In the end, they can only confine themselves in their own ridiculous little world, living in ignorance all their lives, becoming both poor and miserable. In short, if you want to experience a larger, freer life, don't be obsessed with technology. Don't think that being a paid police officer is the only way to live. Know that in society there are 4 roles: employees, freelancers, bosses, and investors. The 3 types of people behind don't need to join the army to learn technology, and don't need to worry about suffering. Practice techniques to please others. If you have ideas and enthusiasm, give up the obsession with techniques. Get out of the rut of the employee. Nowadays, there are many young people who do not go to work but still live very comfortably. They are all effective people on the internet nowadays. There are many projects on the internet that do not require much capital but bring extremely high profits. You can all try to boldly implement, of course. Be careful to stay away from some forms of online fraud. Even if there are no results, you will not lose anything when you take on the responsibility of life on your shoulders. You can exploit your own potential. You can see things outside of work, start making money in the true sense of the word boss. You do not need to master a certain technique in their heads. They do not even know what PowerPoint is, what film editing is, but they can still make a lot of money. Why? Because they are bosses. They do not need to be good themselves. They just need to have good people to cooperate with them. That's enough. Bosses who do not know how to write articles, hire a writing expert. Bosses who do not know how to edit a film, hire a good editor. The boss does not know how to handle banking and tax-related work. Hire an accountant to do it. What the boss really needs to think about is marketing, sales, how to put other people's money in your pocket, how to organize a team. Earn more money, that's what you should learn. The core part of the entire profit-making process is winning customers. That's the most valuable step. As for technology, you only need to offer a salary of $30 million per month, and there will be many excellent technical talents for you to choose. A project that earns $2 billion takes out $100 million and divides it among the workers. They will thank heaven and earth. Once you have awakened, you are no longer obsessed with technology. You no longer want to work for a salary. You have to think more than others. You can earn income from a side job. So what other income channels can I open? How can I become a freelancer with independent income? What should I sell? Who is my target customer? What channels to find customers? How to run your own small business? How to increase your appeal so more people pay you more? Once you start thinking about these issues, congratulations, you have finally escaped the rat race of the employee.